what better to describe these two movies than botched back alley abortion and sweaty pajamas?
Oh my God, that's so true.
The Midwest, home sweet home in good old Indiana. A place of small towns, cozy families gathered together, and fields of corn and rustic woods. But, like any town, there is a dark underbelly that often goes unnoted. We are part of that darkness. We lurk in the shadows to bring you the best in horror, metal, and stories of the grotesque. This is Blood in the Cornfields.
All right, welcome everyone to Blood in the Cornfields podcast. Today we're going to be talking about two movies that were pretty interesting, that I would say, to say the least. The first one's going to be It's Alive, which is the 1974 version. I believe there was another one remake. That's kind of why I'm specifying that. And then the Unborn, which was released in 1991. So that's going to be...
I suppose our theme here is demon children.
Yes, we do have a theme. And well, I mean... You know, the reason we are having a theme is because we have a member who...
currently pregnant as of this recording, and I just was feeling, I'm thinking about my child.
Yes,
this is perfect.
I think it's themed. It's perfectly themed. I mean, you're literally about to, what, a month?
As of this recording, yep.
Yes, so, that's perfectly themed.
Yep.
Little demon baby, that's for sure.
It gives me something to look forward to.
Absolutely.
That's a good one.
All right. With that being said, I am Mark.
And I'm Ivy.
And Luke.
All right. So I guess let's just get into it. Let's talk about oldest first, I guess. It's Alive.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on that first, I guess, we would talk about what the plot is.
Yeah.
With It's Alive, the 1974, quick kind of synopsis about it. I don't know why. Like, that was the one thing with watching this movie and kind of about the plot. There were some things where I didn't necessarily catch on, with her being pregnant and, having this demon child and everything. Like, to me, I found myself wondering about, like, where did it all come from? Like, when we talk about the next one, the Unborn, like, there's a reasoning behind it and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I was just missing something, but go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, that was actually, we watched them the other direction. I watched Unborn first, then It's Alive.
Awesome.
And I noticed they're movies about the same basic thing, but diametrically opposite stories, because the one focuses on becoming pregnant and the whole pregnancy, where the other one starts with the birth and here's the demon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the one, with the Unborn, they're trying to create like super soldier kind of things with the babies, whereas with It's Alive, it's not explained how this happened, but the government is trying to cover it up because it can get bad for them.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to allude to in the beginning is like, I don't know how this demon baby appeared.
Yeah, it just kind of happened, and nobody else knows how it happens. And I kind of like that about It's Alive. And I'm context. I watched this back in college. I happened to find a weird YouTube rip of it, and I loved it.
Yeah.
But I was just genuinely, I love how, like Luke said, it was kind of the opposite of the Unborn, where the baby just is, but it also kind of gives it like a realistic approach. I feel more so towards It's Alive, because they're like, this is exactly what would happen if just some baby popped out of the womb and is tearing shit apart and is tearing people up. Yes. Everybody's going to get involved in this. Yeah. Everybody's like media and government. And of course, there's going to be those people. What really stuck out to me is like the people that were like, oh, we need to find out if it was the drugs that you were taking a while back that caused this.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like. That they don't give an explanation, but they venture into a couple of possibilities. And I think that had to do sort of with I mean the history of the time in 1974, and there was probably some fears. I mean, that was like around the same time that the like the EPA was just becoming a thing and all this, and so environmental concerns, medications, untested things like that. So all of these became possibilities of what caused it. And then, of course, the ending implying that it's happening in other states, other places too.
Yeah.
Which is where the sequels come in, but we don't need to get into that.
Absolutely.
But I think that was like the commentary they were trying to make with the movie is like, you know, untested products, regulations, environmental concerns, pollution, what have you. What kind of effects could this have?
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
And to kind of, you know, make sure that we drive home the actual plot, because I know that was something that we were wanting to focus on because we tend to rattle off stuff a little bit. But for me, basically, the plot was just, you know, as husband and wife, kind of a push and pull a little bit. Like the wife in the beginning, you know, kind of wants the child, kind of not, and then more as it goes along wants the child, and the dad is kind of not wanting it, and there's that push and pull dynamic, and then there's society that's like, kill this damn thing, you know, that's
get it out of here,
influencing and coming in all the time. That's for me, that pretty much is the plot. I mean, there's not a lot of depth to it.
It's just sort of a, I mean, in a sense, it could be considered a slasher.
Slasher, also like a slice of life slasher movie. Because it's like like you said, it starts off with the birth. She's excited about this new baby. She also has an older son who's a good kid, by the way. I really appreciate that child. He goes through some shit with his parents. And he takes it like a champ. God. Yeah, I really like that kid. But regardless, like, he's excited about his new brother being born. And what really gets me also, I think maybe because I'm becoming a mom, I'm literally going through this, but it's like, you're anticipating all this, and then all of a sudden your child's gone.
It just murders the entire operating room.
There's no doctors to work on me. I'm confused as hell. Everything's covered in blood. Yeah, my first reaction would be, did my baby die? No, your baby killed everything else. But the reality kind of set in when like she goes back home, and the young child that they already have is always asking, when's the baby gonna come home? When's the baby gonna come home?
Well, and the story's told somewhat disjointedly with some time skips.
I'm glad you said that.
So it's tough to tell how much time has passed from scene to scene sometimes.
It has cut scenes like a comic book. And I'll give you an example. When he goes down in the basement and has the gun, it's like, there's baby. He shoots baby. Baby leaps on, what was this, Charlie or Charles' name?
Yeah.
And then Charles dead, baby gone. It was like a comic book, like cha-cha-cha, like, you know, cutscene. I was just like, holy shit. It's a little bit like that. But I have, so there's a couple scenes
please tell
from
us.
A humor side that I have to talk about. First of all, the main actor, the father's name is Frank. He was played by John P. Ryan. Hadn't really looked into too much that he did, mostly because I fucking didn't want to. Like, I hated this guy's face, and I hate saying that, but like, he has two emotions. He has that dumb look on his face, that 1,000-yard stare that I can't even understand. And then angry. He's a fucking asshole. He's angry at everything.
Yes, he is.
He smokes too damn much too, but he's angry at everything. And like, I just had to talk about his face because his face pissed me off. Like, I wanted to punch this guy so bad. Just, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. His face is fucking terrible.
Yeah, no, when he first appears on screen, it's like, you're that middle class kind of suburban dad. You know, you're kind of funny.
Well, he's like playing with the kid and doing voices and stuff.
And then all of a sudden, boom, he's a completely different person.
There's like no personality.
There's whatever was there that was slightly charming, gone. And I'm just like, why did you marry him?
Yeah.
Was there signs before? What were the red flags?
So that was my one thing. The other thing I want to talk about was what better to describe these two movies than botched back alley abortion and sweaty pajamas.
Oh my God, that's so true.
To me, that's what stuck out in my mind about these two. But then also, I love how he went in to see his boss, and his boss was like, yeah, let me order you some food. And then he talks about his like guy in accounting. He compares his demon child to his accounting's handicap, we'll say, child.
Agree.
And I was like, what?
Why are you comparing? There's no comparison. You're a dick.
And then he fires him, but like doesn't tell him. He just sends him home and is like, yeah, that guy's not coming back anymore.
It's just puts him on an extended vacation, basically.
But he totally fires his ass behind his back, and I was just like, wow, that was some shit. So yeah, that made me laugh. But my favorite scene in the entire movie is when they're going into the school. And it's weird. They're walking down this dark alley, and the detective and Frank are coming down, and the cops are shining the flashlight in his eyes, in his face, and it made me laugh so hard. I don't know why, because it's just like, dude, why are you shining these lights in his face? Like, light up the area for him so he can see where he's walking. And plus, all the cops would all single file in a line charge into the same place, and I'm like, don't y'all spread out? Like, they're just all like following each other and.
Especially with the ending, ending in the like the weird aqueducts. Yeah.
Oh my god.
What? I didn't realize a full ass car could go in one of those.
I know.
And especially while they're chasing the baby, the dad with the baby, when he finally decides to stop being an asshole towards the end.
Well, not quite, because he throws the baby on the detective, and nobody addresses that. Nobody says a word.
That's true. He did. He just.
He's like, oops.
That's true.
There's my demon child. He's gonna rip your neck off.
They just let him go after that.
Yep, that's
not
true.
A care in the world.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
he had no responsibility in that.
Well, because it was touching. It was a touching scene because like mom's like, oh yes, he does care, and then all of a sudden, throw the child right in the guy's face.
And I mean, and then that kind of brings us to the end, because shortly after chucking his child onto the detective and it instantaneously murdering him.
Yeah.
All the murders that this kid does are instantaneous. Like that kid touches you, boom,
you're done.
Dead.
You're dead.
You're dead.
Well, and I guess the whole thing is too, because I have actually seen the second one. The whole thing is apparently the child only attacks when it's scared. I'm sorry, this thing's scared all the goddamn time.
That's what he said at the end when he finally tries to love it.
Yeah, tries.
And then chucks it at the guy.
But that didn't hold up.
No.
Because
the second one, and I'm sorry, we're going into like the sequels, but the second one actually really hones in on the fact it needs to be scared in order to attack. So knowing that, I was like, I kind of see it, I guess. It got startled when the milkman was doing shit, but not really.
The kid knew what it was doing when it snuck into the milk truck.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
And that little baby made the man go like horizontal.
That's true.
Full horizontal. I'm like,
that's a strong child.
A strong baby.
To the baby's defense. To the baby's defense. He wanted milk. The asshole came back. Even though he's just doing a job, he came back. He got the milk, and he scared the shit out of the child.
Yeah.
What would you do? I'd attack him too.
In a weird way, when I saw the baby first, it made me feel like, and maybe we'll put a clip of this so y'all will know what I'm talking about, but it made me feel like the baby, or not feel, made me, they look like the baby from Dinosaurs. The one that says, not the mama.
Not the mama.
Not the mama, not the mama.
You do that one more time, and I'm gonna throw you across the room.
Not the mama. Wee, oof.
It looks similar. Like
He's got like little T-Rex hands too.
Yes, the little fat T-Rex hands. And I love the baby sounds throughout the movie.
Yeah.
They're the most god-awful, like, nah, I can't even do it.
Man, the baby sounds like the baby on Dead Alive. I kid you not.
That's true.
It's
that
like
is
they
true.
use the same audio.
And I thought it was also amusing that and correct me guys if you know any different, but there's 4 total, 3 originals and a 2009 remake.
I don't know about that. I knew the
Yeah.
third. I only saw
The third one is an island.
island one.
Yes.
Yeah. I was looking up and it said there's a 2009 remake. I would
What?
encourage everyone to
might
look into that more.
All right, we might
check
need to
this
see
out.
those.
Yeah,
2009
and
remake.
so here's another awesome fact: is the best IMDb rated one is the first one.
That
That had the
That
highest
makes
rating.
sense.
Yeah.
The second and even the island one, the third one, I haven't seen, but the second and third definitely play out as more cheesy kind of comedy. They now finally lean into the ridiculousness, whereas the first one was trying to be a commentary story. You know.
Yeah. Which I mean, it makes sense because when you go back and you see it, it was 1974, but I mean, you know, like you said, the instantaneous kills. To me, the comic book scenes where it's like you're missing massive amounts of time. I still, until I read about like the synopsis of the movie, their friend Charlie, I didn't know who the fuck he was. They just called him like Charlie or Charles, but they never explained who he was. Unless I didn't hear that or missed it, I was like, is that his brother? Is it a cousin?
Yeah, they
Is it a
didn't go
family
into
friend?
detail about it.
he
They
was-
just told their son, the 11-year-old kid, that you'll stay with him for a few days until the baby's settled in.
Yeah.
I just assumed it was a friend.
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, that this happens. This
I
exists.
didn't know. I mean, my mind wanders. I was playing all sorts of scenarios. I had no idea. But yeah, that was something that kind of, you know, struck me a little bit odd on that one.
Okay, that's right, because I had to look it up, the director.
Yeah.
So the director has actually made some better things. One of them being The Stuff.
He
Interesting.
made the stuff and Cue
And
the Winged Serpent.
Cue the Winged Serpent
Okay.
as well. And I think also Perfect Strangers. He was the director on. Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Stuff is amazing. And Q, he obviously kind of learned from this. This seemed like it was like a kind of a starter movie for him. And so it's like, hey, that's awesome, dude. You went on to create some amazing shit later on.
Yeah. So I've not seen the second one, and part of me was like, okay, the ending's basic, but like I get what you're doing. You're leaving it open so you can make another one. But he basically just says, oh, there's another baby in Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like that's the ending.
And that I think plays into what they were alluding to about the environmental issues being what's causing it, that it can happen in other states, that we might end up seeing more and more of these babies born because of who
you
knows?
never know.
Could
You
be
never
the
know.
medication,
shit.
could be, you know, whatever it is.
That's why we've been doing this to Casper. He's on an all-natural diet. There's no reason for us to have this.
There's no clawing your belly button out. There's no Luke having to chase him down in the hospital.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Knock on wood.
Oh, well, I won't be too far. I can help you hunt and I can climb things pretty well. So
That's good. I mean, this kid's already pretty strong.
awesome. Cool. With that being said, I guess we'll, open it up to the Unborn, 1991, because I've seen the other one that was made, I don't even know, like mid 2000s, has some girl on the cover or whatever. I have no idea what it's about. I think I saw it when it first came out. Couldn't even tell you.
Yeah, I think there's like a 2009 one, and then there's, I think, just recently a 2020 one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Another completely different story with the
Are
same
are
title.
any of them like Demon Child or anything?
They're ghosts.
One, I think the newest one is like a possession thing. It's
Yeah.
like
Really?
the ghost of something is possessing the baby
Or
or something.
it's like ghost children are possessing things.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We
I
just
don't
watched
know.
the
It's
trailer.
weird.
We don't really know too much, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, we were talking about the 1991 version. So I guess with this one, plot-wise, I butchered the last one. Why don't you try to take this one and describe the plot?
All right. So the plot for The Unborn is basically you were off to a great start. It was basically this couple, they're really excited about having a baby, but they've been having issues having a child. So they go seek out medical help from this researcher who says, "Hey, I have been able to make infertile parents fertile. And so we can do this, and you're going to go through this program, and it's going to be heavily monitored and all that." But honestly, going to so many appointments, it's like, no, this is accurate. This is what
I
it's
thought
like.
this one was way more like would maybe creep you out a little bit.
Not really,
No.
but we've been joking about it a lot
that's true.
since it's happened. No, this one was okay. It just basically, I like how there was something sinister the whole time. You were just like, but what is it? What's going on?
Yeah.
The buildup for this was so good.
It had a very kind of almost Rosemary's Baby sort of mystery around what's going on with this pregnancy.
Yeah, because like just strange things are starting to happen, but she's noticing it more with other people until it gets to her. Yeah. Like I don't know, the build up, the tension in this movie was way better than I think It's Alive.
Yeah.
I don't know because Luke, my husband, he did a review on it a while back. Mm-hmm. And all I saw was a clip of it, which was towards the end with the baby stabbing the guy in the eye. So I was like, oh, this is going to be an awful movie.
I used that clip actually really quickly in the title sequence for my YouTube show. So it shows up a lot. So you've seen that particular moment.
Yeah, and so
that moment really doesn't tell you much about the movie because it's actually pretty misleading because the whole movie up until the reveal of the demon baby is really tense and really well done, and then just that effect, just that image of that like, creepy puppet shoving that knitting needle into his eye.
Oh no! And that's where I thought, oh, this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna be a ride. And that's like, no, this is actually really good. I'm really surprised, pleasantly surprised. Yeah. So that was nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one has a little bit more plot to it. I know we were kind of saying. It starts out with a couple that's, not able to get pregnant. So they get referred to a doctor. Everything's on the up and up. She gets pregnant right away. And then some stuff starts to happen. She has the child and it doesn't go good from there.
She basically finds out that it's an evil corporation that's trying to make super babies.
Well, she doesn't so much have the child as she tries to get rid of it and it survives.
Yeah. That would lead us to the back alley abortions, which I was like, that's so great. So great. But it didn't work though.
Yeah. It didn't work. No, because it found her.
That was $500 wasted. For sure.
Right. I just love the stereotypical what most people think abortions look like because it's like the scary room and all this and they got the pliers and shit and all right, babe, let's go.
Yeah. Well, because that wasn't done at the hospital. It was done by the creepy guy hanging out at the hospital. That's what I'm saying.
But that's what other people think abortion clinics look like, and it's like, what the fuck?
That was so awesome that there's a guy that hangs out there to get business to do back alley abortions. He's the chloroformer. He doesn't even perform the abortion. He just gets the rag and
he's just
knocks you out with chloroform.
He just waits around at the Planned Parenthood until somebody gets rejected, and then hey, they'll reject you, but I'll take
babe,
it.
I'll take it.
You don't got insurance? Come to my alley.
Come on, we can do this.
Let's move this dumpster aside. Come into my office.
Yeah, no, I love the tension in this movie. It's just so good. The build-up's so good. Like you said, it's so much like Rosemary's Baby, even down to the point where she investigates her husband at the end and is like, did you know about this? Yeah. And he's like,
well, he only partly knew. Like in Rosemary's Baby, he full on knew that he was letting her get raped by the devil.
Yeah.
And in this one, he just knew that there was something more going on, but he didn't know the details.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So there's a couple things with this one that I liked. There's some scenes obviously I did and didn't and that sort of thing, but to me the ending was pretty sweet. I love it when babies get shot. It's pretty awesome, and especially in their little pod, and then they had the gore of the baby mush being dropped on the doctor's face.
That was crazy.
As like a fuck you, type.
The reveal of the baby pods, the genetically enhanced super soldiers at this doctor's clinic. That was pretty cool.
That was cool. Even the reveal of she saw that one friend of hers, I guess, that she met at the class.
Yeah.
And
how her stomach got like that, I don't know, but that was kind of cool.
That was crazy cool because she stabbed herself multiple times.
tried to kill the baby, and then I guess when they took her to the hospital, the doctor interfered and put this like transparent
incubator
second skin incubator over her to keep the baby growing.
And while she's like dead, she's
basically brain dead, but they're keeping the baby alive because you know.
They need those
government money and all that.
They need those super soldiers.
Yeah. So there was a few actors in this movie that I recognized. One being the main actress, Brooke Adams. I remember her from Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
That's right.
She was in that one. Also, an interesting fact too. I was checking this out. She won a Chainsaw Award for Best Actress in this movie, a Fangoria Chainsaw Award, which is pretty cool too.
She definitely earned it for this movie. Yeah.
And then the doctor was James Karen, which I recognized him too. He's from Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2, and also he was in Cheers as like a secondary character every now and then.
He was in Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2.
1 and 2, yes. I don't remember. I probably should have looked into that, but just wrote that down. And then also Kathy Griffin and Lisa Kudrow were in it.
Yes, they were so fun to
Lisa Kudrow literally just had like one line. She was a receptionist. Yep. Kathy Griffin actually had a substantial part.
Yeah, she was the class, the people that ran the class.
Yeah, she and her partner led the birthing class, and then she gets murdered by her partner once the baby tells her to. I only have enough love for the baby.
For the baby, not for you.
I thought the rash was really interesting. Right. I loved it when she like pulled it off. It's like bubbling and stuff.
One of the symptoms of the growing a super baby, you got to get a rash on your neck.
Yeah, I was like,
it's awful.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't want that.
Sure, I guess it's a side effect. Makes
and they
makes sense.
They have a really good way of kind of setting up that rash too, because you look at the lady's partner who's doing the class, and she's got that little bandage on her neck.
Yeah. Well, and they even set it up earlier than that when the main characters were at the clinic to begin with at the beginning of the movie, and they're talking to Kathy Griffin, and her partner comes out. She mentions in passing as they're leaving the scene, he said the rash is no big deal. And then the next time you see her, she's got that bandage over her neck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that was really good. I like that build up. They kept that going. That was really good.
Absolutely. I was just going to say something else, but I was going to talk a little bit about the director because there's some interesting things. Rodman Flender was his name, and it loosely sounded familiar. And then after I started looking up some of the stuff that he did, I understand why. Because he actually directed Idle Hands and Leprechaun 2. An interesting thing about him, too, was he's like directed a small amount of some of the most well-known TV series ever to come across. So he did 2 episodes of Tales from the Crypt, and that's just, a little partial to me. He did 5 episodes of Party of 5, which was interesting. He did 1 of Gilmore Girls.
Interesting.
And then he did 2 of The Office. And 1 of the OC too, but
so he's just sort of a studio guy that'll just grab whatever projects come along.
I thought that was really interesting that he, because Gilmore Girls and The Office, those are some of the biggest shows ever in my opinion. Like as far as popularity and stuff. So I thought that was really kind of interesting.
Yeah, especially with him being a prolific kind of studio kind of guy, and he did this, in 91. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know this is a little off topic, but you kind of reminded me of something in the movie that was very interesting. I don't know how you reminded me. This is pregnant brain talking, but basically where like it was this the secret messages, the subliminal messages through the tape
on the cassette tape. Yeah,
that was cool.
Where she adjusts the frequency in a way that no tape
can do
does.
It.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was that really wasn't the treble and the bass. Yeah. It's like
equalizers don't take out tracks.
Right. Also noticed there's been a lot of like cat deaths in a lot of these movies we've been watching recently. People murdering cats. True. I'm like, oh my god.
There was a dead cat in each one.
Yeah. How did she murder did she squeeze it
I assume she squeezed its neck.
Okay.
Yeah, she had her hand kind of on its neck as she was petting it, and the cat was looking kind of like,
Oh,
let
God,
go,
hey,
let
stop.
go.
And then she just like had fur on it. And I was like,
Yeah, I don't know how the fur got on her hand
She
from
had
doing
fur,
that.
but she
why I was
also had
confused.
scratches. So I was like, the cat trying to get away is what I assumed.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I'm sure that cat would
happened
fight
so
back.
quick without the sound effects of that. So there was the quick sound effect of the cat going, the death
Yeah.
scream.
Right.
absolutely.
But there was no sounds of like a struggle or anything.
That's true. It didn't have the sounds that go with it, but she lifted up her hand and I just saw nothing but like scratches and all this other stuff.
Scratches, fur, and blood.
And
Yeah.
then she just like placed it on the couch
Yeah,
or whatever.
That was weird.
And then it never comes up again. Nobody discovers it.
Nope.
She doesn't bury it. Nothing. It's just gone. We'll never talk about it again. It just happened.
And the fact, like, because that was the other thing, because like her mom comes in the next day and I'm like, what about the cat? Though?
Yeah, yeah,
like,
it's chilling there.
She gonna notice it.
Well, Mama got shit faced, so she probably didn't know it. If you
That's
remember,
true. She did.
she was hammered when she woke up.
And that was the thing too. Like, she was trying her best not to be like her mom. And you see her slowly turning into her mother, or at least the descriptions she has of her mom being kind of neglectful and all this other stuff. And it's like, I feel that's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I like that aspect of it where she's going through this stuff. All her fears are becoming reality. She wanted this baby. But now it's like, well, shit.
And it adds insult to injury that she's not been through any of this before, and the only experience she has is this horrible demon child, too.
Yeah.
To me, I thought that was kind of interesting because it's almost, I don't want to say poetic, but it's almost, I don't know. You can't really say ironic either, but she's going through this process for the first time, and it's like not at all what she wanted. It's a horrible process, it just is a horrible experience. But it's the only experience she knows,
Well, and I think that is also how the doctor is able to do some of this, because he only takes patients that have trouble conceiving, so they've never had a pregnancy before, so he can tell them anything about what a normal pregnancy is, and they'll just believe him.
Yeah, because that was one of the things, wasn't it? Like the lady at the very beginning of the movie, the one that was eating the raw meat. And like she just starts spewing blood out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would call a hospital, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That happens to several of them, and the doctor says, no, rupture of the navel is perfectly normal.
I was like,
I'm sorry, huh? I don't think so.
yeah, that was crazy. And I almost forgot. Oh my God, my favorite part. The dude on the skateboard in the back alley. Do you remember the dude with he had one arm, no legs.
Oh, yeah.
He just,
that was so random.
the most random thing I think I've ever seen in a movie. A dude with one arm, it just comes on a skateboard down this dark alley and gives her this like, what up, bro? Kind of like weird stare, and then just goes right by. He had one arm, and that was it.
And like no legs either.
No legs, no. He had like a torso, and I'm sure he had a little nub or something. I don't know. But yeah, that was so random.
I don't know what that was about. Was that just to be like, oh, this is a scary place?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that was. Maybe there's a deeper meaning that we don't realize, but
I don't. Yeah,
Or did the director just be like, you? Yes,
you.
Come here.
Maybe one to help him out or something. I don't know.
Come here. We need you for this scene.
Yeah.
What's the movie about?
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Just get on a skateboard and come here.
Just do this. And with this movie too, I was, watching with my girlfriend, and there's a couple parts where she actually jumped. I felt like this movie had a couple scenes in it where it actually, if you're a little light jumper, it can make you jump a little bit. So there was a little bit of a scare factor in this one where it's alive. I didn't really get those. I didn't really get any jumps or anything like that.
Not so much. This one definitely, the tension was there, which helps with jump scares. With It's Alive, it was just too ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, honestly, when you look at the It's Alive poster, what else do you think?
Yeah.
It's That's an epic poster. I don't care who you are, but the baby carriage with the fucking little T-Rex arm hanging out of it. That's cool.
Yeah. And that's actually how I knew this movie back when we were discussing, like, hey, you know, what movies should we go over and shit. That's how I knew this movie, was because of the poster or cover. Because in my mind, it's similar-ish somewhat to... I cross it in my mind with Basket Case, even though I know that Basket Case cover is different. It's the dude peeking out. I love that cover, but for some reason, my brain makes this like kind of like seem like it's Basket Case.
I can totally see that, and even plot wise, it's not exactly the same, but
yeah. It's a demon
kind of what
child.
Feels like that's what he was trying to do.
That's what Belial is, right? He's just a demon twin.
He's just older.
Yeah. Oh yeah, as the second movie shows, he's much older.
Oh yeah,
because he gets a girlfriend.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh,
Belial, yeah.
Man, it's been so.
And they have a kid in the third one.
That's why I like talking about some of these movies, because I have a massive collection, but shit, there's not enough hours in the day or the year to go back and watch a lot of them. And a lot of it started out when I was a kid. So that's one thing I always look forward to, doing these little kind of movie reviews, because it's like, oh, damn, I have an excuse to go watch a horrible movie that I probably would if I randomly came across it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
that's the whole reason I even watched The Unborn to begin with. I found a tape at a used video store a long time ago and was just, this looks interesting.
Yeah.
$1.49. Hell yeah, I'll watch this.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And kind of with that being said, I want to talk a little bit about kind of Wing It and some of the ideas that we're having for this podcast, because I know we're still new into it. We've got all sorts of ideas coming down the pipe, from doing stuff where we may go explore either a cryptid or something that's haunted, and we may do some video. We are going to be doing some true crime stuff. Hopefully all Midwest based is what we're kind of thinking. And anything to talking about, you know, music and different things like that, and guest appearances and doing different things. So kind of wanted to at least, you know, let the listeners know a little bit about that, especially because it's early on some of the things that we kind of got going. And I didn't know if either of you guys had any input on that, but I at least want to kind of bring it out and let some of the people know at least what we're kind of thinking a little bit.
No, I completely agree with that. Like, I love the idea of exploring more about, like, maybe the Midwest, because we've been talking about doing like a true crime from the actual Midwest, being in Indiana and other places. Yeah. And I'm also very excited as a metalhead myself, kind of going into music genres and different things like that, and hopefully bringing on some, some local guests that are also in bands, promote them, but also to share the music, and hopefully also, kind of show the comparisons between metal and horror, because there is a good, intersect right there.
Yes, there's a lot of, threads that weave in between both of them for sure.
Mm-hmm. And then also, you were giving me a couple ideas. Maybe we could do one about like our old times at the video store and all the different things that we like to see. And that would be fun to just kind of go down memory lane and a nostalgia trip.
I love that. For me, that's where it all started out, was going to the video store and with my best friend, like renting movies and just random shit that we had no idea. And, that's where I stumbled onto. I remember seeing Castle Freak for the first time, Dead Alive for the first time, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, Ghoulies, to like Basket Case, to some odd shit like Pink Flamingos that got thrown in there, So yeah, we've got some good things in store. So we're hoping to keep this going and kind of keep things mixed up.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
We look forward to it.
Till next time.
Absolutely. Till next time.